Welcome back to the MOOC course on Corporate Social Responsibility. My name is Aradhana Malik and I'm helping you with this course. And in today's lecture, we are going to wind up the discussion on measurement and evaluation of CSR, and I'll show you a couple of things. We'll discuss how social responsibility is measured and evaluated in India, in the Indian context, and and I'll show you some examples of business responsibility reporting, and then we will finish the discussion with a discussion on the challenges, or with some inputs on the challenges faced during the evaluation of corporate social responsibility. So let's see what we have here for you. What we are going to do here is I'm going to show you how the large corporations are expected to report their CSR activities as mandated by the National Voluntary Guidelines as prescribed by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India. So let me show this to you. Whatever I have on the slides is actually directly taken from that document. So I was told that I could project the document and still talk to you, so that is what I will do. I will take you directly to the document here. Let me show that document to you. Here we have the National Voluntary Guidelines, and I'll just scroll down. We have discussed how different principles are mentioned in the National Voluntary Guidelines. We have also discussed how National Voluntary Guidelines prescribe, or what they suggest in terms of how to go about reporting business, or how to go about integrating the socially responsible activities into the strategy of the organization. Now we will move on to what they say about how to report this. So let me show you. This is here. We've discussed principles, we've discussed the strategy. This is further down. Yes, here. So they suggest, and I'm going to, let me see if I can increase the size somehow. Okay, I think this should be visible. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. All right. So they say that business entities that are preparing their business responsibility and sustainability report in a nationally, internationally recognized framework furnish the same report with a mapping of the principles of these guidelines with the disclosures, and I'll show you how this is done. If they are not doing this, then business entities that are not fully capacitated to prepare a detailed report on responsible business practices need to furnish a letter signed by the owner or managing director or CEO indicating the commitment to the guidelines and a brief on the activities that have been undertaken. If they are still not there, then business entities that are committed to furnishing a detailed business responsibility report should furnish a report on the basis of the framework as given below. And what is this framework? We talked about the Robeco-SAM framework yesterday. Today we are going to see how the National Voluntary Guidelines show you this. So let me see. So in the first part, you provide basic details of the business, then you give the management's commitment statement to the environment, social and governance guidelines, and then priorities and reporting periods, cycle, etc. Part B is what we are really focusing on. B1 is the principles. Principle-wise reporting. Principle 1 is ethics, transparency, and accountability. We've dealt with this in the initial lectures, so a little bit of revisiting is there. So under this heading, they expect organizations to talk about the governance structure of the business, including committees under the board responsible for organizational oversight. I'm going to read verbatim from this report. I hope that will be okay with you all. You can pull up the report as I talk you through it. Governance structure of the business, including committees under the board responsible for organizational oversight. In case no committee is constituted, then the details of the individual responsible for the oversight. Then the second point is mandate and composition, including number of independent members and or non-executive members of such committee with the number of oversight review meetings held. Then the third point is state whether the person committee head responsible for oversight review is independent from the executive authority or not. If yes, how? Fourth, mechanisms for stakeholders and employees to provide recommendations or direction to the board or chief executive. Fifth, processes in place for the board or chief executive to ensure conflicts of interest are avoided. Sixth, internally developed statement on ethics, codes of conduct and details of the process followed to ensure that the same are followed. Then seventh, lastly, frequency with which the board or chief executives assess the BR performance, business responsibility performance. Second principle is product life cycle sustainability. So statement on the use of recyclable raw materials used, statement on the use of energy efficient technologies, designs and manufacturing, service delivery processes, statement on copyright issues in case of the products that involve use of traditional knowledge and geographical indicators. Next is statement on the use of sustainable practices used in the value chain. Then the third one is employees well-being. Principle 3 is employee well-being. Again, so it's a comprehensive report. We've discussed these principles. Now this is how these principles are evaluated. How do they find out whether employees well-being is looked after? The companies give the total number of employees with percentage of employees that are engaged through contractors, statement on non-discriminatory employment policy of the business entity, percentage of employees who are women, number of persons with disabilities that are hired, amount of the least monthly wage paid to any skilled and unskilled employee, number of training and skill upgradation programs organized during the reporting period for skilled and unskilled employees, number of incidents of delay in payment of wages during the reporting period, number of grievances submitted by the employees against the organization. Then the fourth principle is stakeholder engagement. Statement on the process of identification of stakeholders and engaging with them. Statement on significant issues on which formal dialogue has been undertaken with any of the stakeholder groups. The next one is human rights. Principle 5, statement on the policy of the business entity on observance of human rights in their operation. Statement on complaints of human rights violations filed during the reporting period. Sixth principle is environment. And under this, they state the percentage of material used that are recycled input materials, total energy consumed by the business entity for its operations, statement on the use of energy saving processes and the total energy saved due to the use of such processes, then the use of renewable energy as percentage of the total energy consumption, then total water consumed and the percentage of water that is recycled and reused, then statement on quantum of emissions of greenhouse gases and efforts made to reduce the same, statement on discharge of water and effluents indicating the treatment done before discharge and destination of the disposal, and lastly the details of efforts made for reconstruction of biodiversity. So we are depleting the natural resource. What are the organizations doing? What are these companies doing to give back to nature? Are they planting more trees? Are they encouraging, or are they introducing fish in the ponds, or whatever the case may be? So how is biodiversity being reconstructed? Then principle 7 is policy advocacy. I'll just show you, when I show you reports, then all of this will become clear. When I show you actual business responsibility reports, whatever I'm saying will become much more clear. So principle 7 is policy advocacy. Principle 7 is statement on significant policy advocacy efforts undertaken with the details of the platforms used. Principle 8 is inclusive growth, and this includes details of community investment and development work undertaken indicating the financial resources deployed and the impact of this work with a longer term perspective. Then details of innovative practices, products and services that particularly enhance access and allocation of resources to the poor and the marginalized groups of the society. Principle 9, the last principle, is customer value. Statement on whether the labeling of their products has adequate information regarding product related customer health and safety, method of use and disposal, product and process standards observed, and the details of customer complaints on safety, labeling and safe disposal of the products received during the reporting period. Now all of this is mandated by the NVG guidelines. Now, this is all that is there on these slides. I'll just go back to the slides now. I'll just show you. So, I've just put it on the slides here. So, along with the appropriate referencing, of course. So, these are the different principles and how these principles are evaluated. Then, so, you know, this is what the government wants organizations to report on. Now, let me show you something that I have here. I'll show you the different business responsibility reports, how different organizations report on these different principles. There are different ways of doing it. For example, the first one that I'll show you is Imami Limited, for example, you know. So, say this is a very cut and dry kind of very crisp report, 11-page report. They've given all the details. Everything is in a tabulated form. So, business responsibility information, see here. I'll just increase the size, maybe that will help you see it better. I'll also give you a link to this, so you will be able to see it yourself, or you can Google Imami Business Responsibility Report of Imami and this will come up. Okay, let's see here. So, section A is general information about the company, as you see here. And then under general information, they have various things. See, corporate identity number, name of company, registered address, website, email, financial year reported, sectors that the company is engaged in industrial activity code-wise. So, they have Navratna oil, Zandu and Mentho plus balm, Boro plus antiseptic cream, Fair and Handsome cream, Kesh King oil. So, they've given 5 products. Then list key products or services that the company manufactures or provides, and they have repeated these names here. Total number of locations where the business activity is undertaken by the company. So, they've given the number of international locations here. So, Imami operates through 8 overseas subsidiaries and has presence in 60 plus countries with a manufacturing unit in Bangladesh as well. Major geographies are listed here. Number of national locations is given. So, head office in Kolkata, 4 regional offices, 7 manufacturing units, 5 mother depots and 33 depots across India. Then the markets served by the company, Indian market, export and operations. So, they've very crisply detailed whatever they are, I mean, very crisply mentioned what they do. Section B is the financial details, and all of this is part of the annual report. Okay, section C is other details. Does the company have any subsidiary company, for example? Do the subsidiary company or companies participate in the business responsibility initiatives of the parent company? If yes, then indicate the number of such subsidiary companies, and they have listed that. So, business responsibility policies are applicable to the management and all the employees of the company, and the company encourages adoption of BR initiatives by its business partners. They've listed it here. Then again, you know, BR information. Now, here, this section D gives you the principle wise policies. Reply in yes or no. Do you have a policy or policies for principle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? So, they say yes. Has the policy been formulated in consultation with the relevant stakeholders? They say yes to all. Does the policy conform to any national or international standards? If yes, specify maximum of 50 words. So, I mean, this is how many organizations present their compliance with these policies. If the answer to serial number 1 against any principle is no, then please explain why. So, they say not applicable because we are adhering to everything that you have said. And does the company have a grievance redressal mechanism? This is related to the policy or policies to address stakeholder grievances related to policy or policies. Yes. The answer is yes, any grievances can be sent to this email address here. So, and they have given links. Indicate the link for the policy to be viewed online. So, they have a link, and I'll just open it here live and show it to you. So, they have a policy and they say yes, it has been communicated, and the policy is also available online. It's loading. So, this is how they have presented their business responsibility report. Now, while this is opening, I'll show you. I mean, I have another such policy pulled up. So, you know, we can see that also in a minute while this is coming up. So, this is how they have put their information here. Now, section E is principle wise performance. So, okay, principle 1, ethics. First, they have given a summary of what they are doing principle wise. Then they have given details of each principle. So, ethics, transparency, and accountability. And they've given the information about this. They have also provided a link to their whistleblower policy. Then they've answered these questions. Does the policy relating to ethics, bribery, corruption cover only the company? Yes or no? Does it extend to the group, joint venture, supplier, contractors, NGOs or others? And then, how many stakeholder complaints were received? Then principle 2, again, detail has been given. So, this is how they have, employees well-being. Here, they've given all this. Category, child labor, forced labor, number of complaints received, number of complaints pending, sexual harassment, discriminatory employment, etc. What percentage of your under-mentioned employees were given safety and skill upgradation training in the last year? Permanent employees, permanent women employees, casual, temporary, contractual employees, employees with disabilities. So, they have given the information here in terms of numbers. Stakeholder engagement again. So, all of these questions have been answered here. Policy advocacy, again, is your company a member of any trade and chamber or association? If yes, name only those major ones that your business deals with. So, they have provided the names of these chambers of commerce. Then principle 8, inclusive growth and equitable development. Does the company have specified programs or initiatives, projects in pursuit of the policy related to principle 8? If yes, details thereof. So, given details of the programs they are encouraging, and all of this has been very, very crisply presented in an 11-page report, which forms a part of the main annual report. This is one way of reporting. Now, another one that I will show you here is the business responsibility report of ITC Limited. Let me just increase the size. Okay, 200%. This should be okay. So, this is very nicely color coded. This is another 16-page report. General information about the company, financial details, list of CSR activities in which expenditure has been incurred. So, they have given the areas listed under Schedule 8 to the Companies Act: eradicating hunger, poverty, malnutrition, ITC's interventions, health and sanitation, drinking water, and eradicating poverty. So, they have also contributed to the Swachh Bharat course set up by the central government for promotion of sanitation and making available safe drinking water. Again, and then they say promoting education. So, they have gone and categorized everything, and they say this is what we are doing. This is the principle and in the Companies Act, and this is what we are doing about it. This is how we have contributed to this particular area. Promoting education, so they say education, vocational training, livestock development and generation of livelihoods. Promoting gender equality is the area listed under Schedule 7 of the Companies Act. So, they say we have done work in women's empowerment. So, and so on. You can go through it. Rural development projects is one area under this schedule, and so they say we have done agri development. And then commitment to sustainable and inclusive growth. So, they have reported principle wise. They have given a summary, and then principle wise they have very creatively provided the information about what they have done. Okay, so and then they've got photographs, and so they give information and they have given a description of it. Now, all of this is accountability. This is their way of saying, yes, we started from point A and we have reached point B. Employee well-being, again, they have said what they are doing here. Okay, so the third type of report is this business responsibility report, Mindtree, and they say that we have a it is presented in an annexure of the director's report. So, they have given a summary here, and they say please go to annexure 7, and then annexure 7 is here. I'll just scroll down and I'll show you what. So, this is the annual report, the director's report, not the annual report. So, they say that it's part of the director's report. You go to the director's report and then you go down, and this is available in annexure 7. Again, this is one more way of presenting the report here. Okay, annexure 7, corporate social responsibility. So they say Mindtree will focus on CSR initiatives that promote the areas identified in the policy. And so here, so they have given the actual money that they have spent on these different activities. That is one more way of presenting information to the public about what they have done. Okay, so they have a project or name of the project or activity here, the sector in which the project is covered, the project or program, local area. So they say we've done it in Bangalore and other parts of Karnataka, the amount of money they have spent, program wise, direct expenditure, cumulative expenditure, etc. So all of this is another way of presenting what they have done. Then they also, their corporate social responsibility policy is again online, and you can view it, and they say you can go through it, and this is how we define corporate social responsibility. And the last one that I wanted to show you was this, Dabur's report. They have business responsibility reports here on this website, and this is an 84-page report where they have given a lot of details about how they are adhering to each principle. So they have a chairman's message, and then what they are doing principle wise, how they are contributing back to the society. So this is how it is being done in India. Now I would encourage you to go online and see how different organizations report on their social responsibility activities. You Google business responsibility reporting and Google the name of any company that you like, and things should pop up, and that should give you an idea of what is happening. And they have things, some of them have things listed principle wise, some of them give you numbers, some of them give you the amount of money that has been spent, some of them give you the number of people who are involved. So various shapes and sizes of these reports and forms of these reports are there, but it all points towards a commitment to accountability, a commitment to making the output tangible, not just saying that yes, we are committed to responsible business, but actually putting it down in black and white on paper and saying, yes, this is what we have done, this is measurable, this is tangible, this is something that people can see and feel, and it is out there. And so that is where we are headed, as as far as our evaluation is concerned. Then these reports are taken and people like us see them, and then investors see the responsibility reporting, and then eventually decide to go for the business or not go for the business, or whatever the case may be. So that is the impact this is having. Okay, the next part of today's lecture deals with the challenges to or concerns regarding CSR evaluation. Now this is again from the paper by Pelosa and Shang, and they say that one of the big challenges, because CSR is so varied and so dynamic, and I've given you all these ideas about how people are attempting to evaluate CSR. It is primarily self-reporting. So they have a benchmark, and they say against this benchmark, this is what we are doing. We are trying to tell you what we are doing. So it's not how many kilos of social responsibility, or how many kilometers of social responsibility, or how many hours of social responsibility. It is these descriptions of activities that people have carried out. So then again, the question that arises here is, how does the form of CSR impact consumer perceptions of value? Why do people go for some sort of, or what are people's decisions influenced by? What in corporate social responsibility, what do companies need to do to help their stakeholders understand that they are doing something worthwhile? Okay, when we are talking about value, it is, after all, the organizations, profit-making organizations, are making an effort. But how do they know that their efforts are actually having an impact on the people they are making the efforts for? So how do we decide what effort results in what kind of value for the customer or consumers? So, and the response is, the proposition here is that CSR activities in the categories of philanthropy or business practices enhance other oriented value. You do something for others, people see it. Product related CSR activities enhance other and self oriented value. So it is philanthropic activities and it is product related activities, which means that we know what we are getting from you. You give us a green product, you give us a product in a biodegradable container, we know that you are committed to sustainability. Okay, we know that you are committed to protecting the environment. So if you say that we are committed to protecting the environment and sell your product in a container, in a plastic container that doesn't degenerate, we will be skeptical. But if it is given to us in a container that is marked as a biodegradable product, then we know that you're going that extra mile to protect the environment that you're a part of. When CSR activities provide other-oriented value, consumers will perceive trade-offs with self-oriented value. Faced with the choice, consumers will prioritize CSR categorized as product-related over philanthropy and business practices. So these are the responses. Okay. Then the second question that comes up is, do all consumers view value from different forms of CSR? Maybe, maybe not. So that is a challenge. Who are we targeting when we are saying that this CSR, the activities that we are doing are of value to somebody? Who are we targeting? And Pelosa and Shang propose that CSR activities categorized as philanthropy or business practices will create other-oriented value for self-transcendent consumers, but not for self-enhancement consumers. CSR activities categorized as product features will enhance self-oriented value for all consumers. So it has to be, people who are looking for something bigger than themselves will perceive philanthropy to be of more value than, say, product related value that is given to them. But all consumers will see that, if you add value to the product that you are selling them, then or service that you're giving them, then all of them will see the benefit in it. The third question here is, are all consumers equally aware of different forms of CSR? And the response or the proposition here by Pelosa and Shang is that consumers will be more aware of product related CSR activities when compared to philanthropy and business practices. Consumers will perceive product related CSR activities to require more firm commitment and effort when compared to philanthropy and business practices. And the reason for that is that when product related activities come into the picture, that means that the organizations are focused and genuinely committed. They are not just shooting in thin air. They are doing something related, or they are improving the quality of the products. Why? Because that is one thing that they are known for. They have set up this organization to provide a product. If they improve the quality of the product, make it society and environment friendly, then that means that they have institutionalized the idea of CSR. They are actually trying to do socially responsible business rather than going out and giving to charities and volunteering here or there. So they are trying to improve from the inside. Okay. The next challenge here is value from different forms of CSR consistent across product categories? And the Pelosa and Shang propose that other-oriented or intrinsic value increases in salience for experiential products, other-oriented or extrinsic value increases in salience for symbolic products, and self-oriented value increases in salience for functional products. So, when we talk about experiential products or services, then the intrinsic value increases in salience. Then for symbolic products, the other-oriented value increases, and the self-oriented value, what you give to the consumers as far as products are concerned, that increases in significance and salience for the functional products. Things that are meant to do something have a self-oriented value that goes up. So, okay, and so these are some of the challenges that we face when evaluating what is going to be of value to whom. And this is how we have seen some of the responses from our researchers. So that is where we end the discussion on measurement and evaluation, and we will continue with some more discussions on CSR in the next week of classes. Thank you very much for listening.